the company known as J&S Talent Center Limited came up for scrutiny when, during the 2023 budget approval process, the National Cathedral Secretary claimed to have paid the company some money for what it called contractors mobilization. We have always known that the only contractor working on the National Cathedral in terms of actual physical construction is Rebade Limited. Rebade being a joint venture of 3 Italian companies, Rizzani di Ecca, Barbisotti, and Di Simone. So when we saw J&S Talent Center Limited also receiving payment for contractors mobilization, certainly we were surprised. It did raise an alarm, and we decided to do some further digging. It then emerged that the company is registered as a talent and skills development company. That's their only stated objective. It's a small business with a 500 cities as its stated capital. Johannes Eshen and Sheila Eshen, a couple, are the shareholders. There are 3 directors: Johannes Eshen, Sheila Eshen, and Kwabna Edujemfi. So we continued the digging and discovered that there is actually no work this company has done for the National Cathedral, and yet they have been paid. Johannes Eshen is a branch pastor of Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng's church, the Power Chapel Worldwide. So that even got more interesting, and we decided to do some more digging. It has now emerged that apparently there is no Kwabna Edu Jemfi, and that Kwabna Edu Jemfi, as presented in all the documents that we have seen, is Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. We have obtained the passport he used to register JNS as a director, and the picture is very clear, even though the name is different from Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. We have also obtained other passports, including a diplomatic passport issued as recent as November 2021, which expires in 2026. He's still using that diplomatic passport, and the name in that diplomatic passport is not Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng, but Kwabna Edu Jemfi. Then we also secured the incorporation instruments for the National Cathedral of Ghana. And we discovered that when it came to registering the National Cathedral of Ghana, he used his driving license. And for his driving license, it's the name we all know, Victor Kusi Boateng. However, he has 2 different dates of birth. His document with Victor Kusi Boateng, he claims to be born in September 1961. In the other documents, particularly passports bearing the name Kwabna Edu Jemfi, he says that he was born in 1969, December 1969. So you see a person deliberately trying to create a different personality, a different identity. So it's not a case of just a mere name change. You see different date of birth, you see a different profession, you see different PIN, the taxpayer identification number, which is illegal to have 2 different taxpayer identification numbers. he does that, and he's been able to dribble the GRA, and they do not know that it is one and the same person. So what this means is that previously we thought that the JNS payment was going to a crony, a spiritual son, a branch pastor of his church. Now we know that really it was payment to himself. He's director of JNS. He sits on the board and directs these payments.
But he's not a shareholder, though. So would the payment be going to him?
Definitely, it's going to the company. The further tracking we have done, he is really running the accounts. He's running the show. And the bank statement that we have, it is striking that a company that opened an account in February 2021 26 February, didn't have any money in the account at all, zero. They were not running the account. Suddenly, the week that, those who have tried to defend this whole scandal, MPP communicators, because mind you, JNS has not issued a statement, National Cathedral Secretary have not issued a statement, but we've seen some propagandists try to defend this scandal. The bank statements they have put out and a document purportedly demanding a loan or applying for a loan from JNS. When you go through the bank statement, since the account was opened at ADB, no activity, no amount of money in the account until the 23rd of August. Guess what? The same week when we are told that the board of the National Cathedral did not have money, they were going through financial difficulty and so needed an urgent bailout. The bank statement revealed that the 3.5 million cedis which came into the account came from government. It's a Controller and Accountant General Swift code. Again, we do not know what work JNS did to be paid 3.5 million Ghana cedis. It is that 3.5 million Ghana cedis, which we are told 2.5 million was given to a struggling National Cathedral. Meanwhile, if you go to the bank statement of the National Cathedral at the time it claimed it was struggling and was applying for a 2.6 million bailout from JNS, which, mind you, is not licensed to be a lending institution. They had 6 million Ghana cedis in their account. So that story doesn't add up. It's just a cock and bull story. So it's clear to us that this JNS and Kwabna Edu-Gyamfi, they have clear questions to answer with conflict of interest, clear insider dealing, and really this whole National Cathedral project and the way, people associated with this project are conducting themselves. That is why this afternoon I am petitioning SHRAT to commence investigations into this matter under Article 218 of the 1992 Constitution. I am also demanding the immediate resignation of Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng, who is also known as Kwabna Edu-Gyamfi, who's never disclosed this to the board. I have the records. At no time did he reveal that he is the same person. And really, why is he creating two personalities? Who is he running from? Who is he hiding from? Why is he violating all our laws? You can't have multiple things. He has it. Different dates of birth. I mean, is he wanted? What's going on here? So we clearly need a full-scale forensic probe into this entire... Look, there's just too many scandals around this project. Don't forget that we have not finished understanding the circumstances leading to the siphoning of 28.2 million Ghana cedis to the Nehemiah Group, which the dodgy American Caris Farmers owes. Now, you have all of this siphoning taking place when contractors say that they are being starved of funds. And despite all the massive withdrawals, the unconstitutional withdrawals of over 339 million, the contractors were not adequately resourced. They have abandoned the project 10 months on, since 14th March 2022. And yet, we see these massive diversions. People create companies, they don't disclose their interest in those companies, and all kinds of diversions are taking place. Unbelievable, totally unbelievable. All of this in the name of building a temple for God. Most shocking.
Right. Now, some of the accusations you make are serious. In fact, you are accusing, you are claiming a crime has been committed here, because if a person has more than one date of birth on a government document, then he has lied on at least one of those documents. So that would be a crime. Have you reported it to the police?
We will be doing that. So at 1 p.m., we will be petitioning Shraj to deal with the conflict of interest aspects. After that, we will be at the police headquarters to report the other aspects relating to clear crimes of identity fraud and misleading public officials and related matters.
Now, you describe this as findings of Parliament. Which body of Parliament has been doing this investigation that has yielded the information you put out?
Well, you know that our caucus asked me to lead efforts in unraveling this whole National Cathedral brouhaha. So I've been leading the investigations with colleagues. So it's our side of the House, the NDC caucus, which I lead. So it's a team that's been working on this, and I'm happy to have been leading the efforts to unravel. Remember that we intercepted for the first time when nobody knew that funds were being siphoned from the state coffers into this project, when even the Supreme Court had been told that public funds would not be used, when there was no parliamentary approval. Hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis had been diverted into this project. We made that disclosure. We made a disclosure about the payments to Sir David Ajay. We made the disclosure about the fact that there was no recourse to the procurement law. I raised a right to information request. The Public Procurement Authority came back that the whole construction, Ribade Company Limited, they have no record. They did not follow the public procurement laws of Ghana. So it's been a continuous investigative work that we have been carrying out, ultimately pursuing our constitutional duty of oversight, making sure that there are checks and balances, and that we expose the wrongdoings going on a massive scale.
Okay, so
that's the
clarification that I was seeking, that it's not a parliamentary investigation, but a minority caucus investigation, if I'm accurate.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Now, you've put out documentation from passports to, identity documents, documents of incorporation, bank statements. These are, documentation that are not given out to individuals by the organizations that hold them. How were you able to obtain them?
Kojo, you're a very experienced journalist, and you know that sources are protected. I can assure you that these are from very deep throat sources. They are all authentic documents. Since last year, every document we have put out in this crusade have checked out. All the documents have checked out. None of the revelations have been impugned or impeached or undermined for that matter. So I can assure you that all these passports we put out, the corporation documents, the driving license, every supporting document that has helped as incontrovertible evidence to really unravel this grand scheme. They are very, very authentic. We cannot name our sources, but I can assure you that they are not impeachable.
Okay.